Well, I got some space here, helps out, but my living room in the morning, when it was before 6, about 59.
My clock says 5 o'clock, and so I'm gonna call this meeting to order, the TIF board for Orleans, town of Orleans. Today is February the 10th, and it's 5 o'clock. And our subject matter tonight is to consider, the building downtown where the new town carpets was at. And as you guys all know, we made an offer of $100,000 to buy the building. It had been appraised at like 210. He came back after our last meeting, and Shane said 150. So it came down substantially. I told him we would not, get back with him till we had a chance to kind of look and see what we would have in the building if we had to remodel it or what we had to do to it. Steve was kind enough to get us a quote from Mike Golden Construction. And you all got copies of that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So he had talked to me about using the back area first, which was a lot, a bigger area, I guess. And you saw the quote, and it was $68,000 to get that one part of the building, plus getting an ADA compliant bathroom. And then he talked about, we talked to him about like dividing it up into 4 additional smaller spaces. And he thought by the time you put electric and you put heating and cooling with mini splits, you open up the building to allow each one of those businesses to have an entrance out to the Gateway Park, it'd be about $100,000 per business.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so I guess now Shane had called me 2 weeks ago. I think I sent you an email. And so I wanted us to consider what we wanted to do and go forward with it. It's a 5,300 square foot building. And we're not gonna get another opportunity to have a 5,300 square foot building downtown. We may do what Mike wants to do, or we may do something else. It's a wide open building right now that has some possibilities. We may want to, if we decide that we want to purchase it and he decides he wants to sell it to us, we may have an engineer come in and they may have a different plan. I know we could probably get an architect in there and kind of devise the space maybe more better, for lack of a better word, than what we had talked to Mike about. But, I guess I'm open to what you guys' thoughts are and we'll go from there. So I'll open it up. Comments, thoughts?
How much money do we have?
Robert?
17.
It's around 174.
At 174? Does that include this year's drawing? And that'll be another 25, so we got about 200,000.
Did you say 200?
Yes, about 200,000, counting this year's draw.
Are there people begging to come in and rent, or what's going on?
We actually have had several small businesses come in and say, hey, we'd like to have some space to rent, to put up something. But Grant, you know as well as I do that it can come about or it can't come
Yeah.
about. I mean, we had 9 people wanting Once Upon a Bean. But it was a finished product and, you know, this is not a finished product, so we would have to put some money in it. But I actually believe we would have 9, 10 people interested in it. But that can all go by the wayside. We may have a 5,300 square foot building downtown with nothing in it.
Right.
And I don't know, but
Those renovations scare me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
It's a lot. Especially if we don't have the funds to pay for it.
to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I understand that, and, you know, I see that. But I know if we don't have it and we need it, we aren't gonna get it again, because there's nothing downtown. And the other side of the coin is, if we don't get it, and we have something that we don't want downtown, this way we at least control it for a period of time.
The other thing, it just occurs to me, and, you know, of course, I'm still kind of a newcomer, you know, but I look at these things and it's just like the open spaces that they're there. And if the town owned them, they wouldn't have to be. I'm talking like Hurley's, for instance. You know, I always look at that building and I think, wouldn't it be great if they come in there and get that started, but, you know, there's a lot of people who say it's not gonna happen, so you just have an empty space. Where if you owned it,
You could be working towards.
And
Yes.
And people do ask about that, bill. I hardly have a month go by that
Yeah.
somebody didn't want to know about Hurley. And I said, well, you can forget it because.
yeah,
We're not
well,
gonna
and
do
you're at the mercy
Yeah.
of, these other people
Of
that are
absentee
involved.
landlords, absolutely.
yeah,
And we're not gonna have enough money ever to buy all the vacant buildings. Okay, so we have to pick
Yeah.
and choose and do it wisely.
And I've never understood, you know, I've been in the chamber since '91. I have never understood why you want to own a building and pay insurance and pay taxes and not make a dime.
right,
I just don't understand.
yeah,
And when you could lease it, rent it, and help pay part of your expense or recoup some of your output, I just never understood that concept. But there
Right.
seems to be a lot of people in town have that mindset.
well, I don't think it makes any sense. I don't
No.
We went through a lot of classes last year. We went through a whole year of classes on how to build your downtowns back up. You know, and the only way you can do it is you have to start.
You have to what?
You should have to start.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
You know, we did, and I don't know if you guys were on the board when the Boyer building was purchased. And that kind of thing, you know. At some point, I'd like to see the town let go of that and use that money back to purchase other lands and other properties and redo, just keep that cycle going if we could. But, you know, when you relinquish control and you sell it, then you never know what's gonna go in. And you have no control, so that's, you know, that's the other side of the thing. But I told Shane that we'd get back with him and let him know what we decided as a group. And you have all the information I have, and I don't have a great plan. I just know that if we have it, we have the ability to move forward on it and do something with it now. You know, I've heard people say, well, you could put an indoor car wash like Danny Baker had at Mitchell. You remember that? It's big enough space to do, but I think that would be, I don't know how you get your cars in and out.
It
Except
wouldn't be
that,
good, it wouldn't really be an ideal fit for historical downtown.
yeah, probably
The
not.
character.
Probably not. And that's the other side of the coin is, it is a historical part of our community. So,
Well, If you go, if you bought it and go through the whole plan, put the 4 rooms in, you're gonna have $615,000 in it. Where's all that money come from? I mean, you can't commingle your money with our money, can you?
No, you could bond it, you could sell bonds, or the TIF can do that. The TIF is really not under the town of Orleans. The TIF, the way we operate here, that I keep the money instead of having a separate group bank the money. But this board could sell bonds if they wanted
Well, you guys bought the old Warrior building, and redid it.
How'd they do that, Rob? They did the TIF, didn't,
to. We just purchased.
you had that much money, and the town did most of the
A
remodel.
lot of the work we did ourselves, cutting it out.
But I don't think we could do, the town crews are so busy, they just don't have time to do that again. You know, we'd have to hire somebody, whether it's Mike or whether it be somebody else, and just, you know, take the one in the back, spend 68,000, get it operational and get some money coming in on it, and then I guess use that money to fund the rest. Would be my thought. And then again, we don't know if we have control, if somebody, we've had organizations come to us that say, hey, we'd like to have the whole building, but we couldn't get it purchased quick enough for that to happen. So there is interest. People all the time are telling me, man, I'd like to do something in Orleans. But
Let them buy it, then do it.
That's fine.
I mean, really, I don't know, I hate to not be in control, but I don't know if the money works out, though, the way I'm looking at it. I'm even feeling better, sometimes I even think that 100,000 we offered. I mean, that's,
Well,
I don't know.
since we only get 25, 30,000 a year.
What's that?
We get 25, 30,000 a year.
28.
28.
We get 28,000 a year. Take a while to get that remodeled.
Yeah.
Even if we floated the bonds, which I'm not a proponent of floating bonds,
Do that.
you know.
Well, if you offered, you want 150, right?
You want 150.
Well, let's say, look, I'm just throwing this out. So if you think 125, we went that, if, okay. Then you're gonna have, was it 68 or 63? I couldn't kind of see on
So I
my,
think it's 68.
so you have to have that much. You don't have to do other at this point in time, do we?
No.
That would be the only, okay.
We wouldn't have to do anything.
Even if you got $800 a month, that's $9,600 a year. Take
Mhm.
10 years to save that money to do when you build 12 rooms with our money. It's $100,000 for each one of those 4 offices.
Yeah, if you do 4. Well, that's what I'm saying. If if we weren't saying that right now, then what we're looking at is the sale price plus the 68. Yeah. So is that doable? I mean, I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking right now, the starting point. Do we think that's doable?
Well, the thing is, we're gonna be stuck with it because we're not gonna have any money for 10 years to do one room, one more office. That 100,000, that's what I'm looking at. Since we can't.
Has he gotten any? He's working with Natasha, right?
He is strictly working with the town right now.
He hasn't listed it yet.
Oh, that's-
He hasn't listed it yet.
Okay,
But
okay.
he did tell me that, one of the realtors in Bedford, he thought could get more. So, but he wanted the town to have the first opportunity, which I think is very admirable.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well,
Sounds like we just need more money.
What?
Sounds like we need just more money.
Well,
If the opportunity gets
you're
away
not gonna
from
get
us.
more if you don't, it's like you said, unless you do something
I mean,
to pull up
That's
our
right.
tents here after a bit, you know, and
we've been very, well, I wouldn't say we've been successful, but we've had full occupancy over there.
I think it's great.
In that group. And, you know, an engineer or an architect may have a better idea of what the town could use that space for than what we think.
But that's gonna cost money too, you know,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, you know, that's probably a $10,000 bill just to have an architect look at it and draw up a plan.
Mhm.
But then we have to have, you know, we have to have the vision as to what we want our community to be. And that's kind of what we're here for, is what do we want our community to be? If it gets away from us, you know, it gets away from us and we don't have that opportunity to say, this is what I want, this is what I want our community.
So where's that vision gonna come from? I mean, who are you gonna ask? I
I'm
mean,
gonna ask all of us,
okay,
you know. That's what I'm gonna do.
just trying to make sure I'm clear on things.
You know, I mean, but I think we would have an architect come in and kind of look at it and do some thoughts. So, you know, there's all kinds of different seminars we can go to that talk about commercial use in towns like ours. You know, so we can get ideas from them. We got ideas on the coffee shop. You know, before that ever came into play, we said we need a coffee shop.
Mhm.
And thank goodness we have a coffee shop. We said we needed an eating establishment, and even though, you know, Speakeasy's struggling right now, or they want to get out of it.
Well, if they're gone, then we're what, to the Mexican and, you know,
then
so,
But I'm just saying, those are the kinds of visions.
no, I hear what you're saying. I just,
Probably the saddest thing of the missed opportunity is the bank. You know, I cringe every time.
is it just, it's still dead in the water?
Yeah.
It's just gonna, is it gonna be?
Well, either that or it becomes a vape shop.
Oh, God.
And, I mean, that's such a missed opportunity, but that's a piece of real estate that was a very nice building. A lot of space in it, a lot of opportunities, and it's just gonna rot down. I mean, we're sitting there, you know, since 2012 with, you know, an empty building and no heat, and no water, no air. And that's just a shame, you
Mhm.
know, and that's been such an important landmark piece of property in the whole town. And it's a shame that there wasn't any way to kind of get that for an anchor of some sort, for some type of business. And I think people did try, but the guy that's got it now, you're not going to deal with that guy.
And you know, think about.
So is he just gonna hang on to it, you think, again? Is it,
Either that
are
or
we back to
it'll
the
become
same
a-
thing?
be whatever he works out, but I mean, it's what his plan and his vision for Lane won't be anything we're gonna.
Now, do you
enjoy.
have, you personally or the town, like if he owns it and he said, I am gonna do this, and you don't want him to, can you stop it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
There are businesses that we are allowed to have in Orleans, and there are businesses we are not allowed by ordinance. So you can stop some businesses.
Okay,
But, you know, the majority of businesses you can't stop.
well, probably the majority is not gonna be a problem, but it's that one here and there that's can be,
Right.
and that's why I asked that, and, you know, then you just make matters worse if you get,
Yeah, and you know, the thing about like Hurley's, if we do something with that building next to it, that may spur growth. That's the intent, is to spur growth with Hurley's or even with the old barber shop. That area, I mean, that's, that's prime downtown location because of the gateway, because of what we put right in. So, you know, that's the hope, that's the economic development, but, you know, again, to your questions, we don't know if people are gonna line up, we think they will. Past experience tells us they will. But we don't have an ironclad contract. You know, and the thing with the Boyer building is the town has given it to the tenants, and just now, they're starting to raise the rent to try to make it more commercial minded. The town has actually subsidized that rent for a few years to help those businesses get going. And we might have to do the same thing in that building, or any other building that we would purchase. We might have to subsidize for a while to help those businesses get going. And, you know, I'm willing to do that because we have to have a vision for Orleans, because it's just not going to, you know, it's just not going to happen if we don't make it happen. So, like I said, it's my soap opera for tonight. How does the group feel about the 100,000 and him going to 150? What do you all want to?
We don't have money for 150.
What?
We don't have money for 150. Not before that.
Well, yeah, no,
Not
I wouldn't.
fix it.
I would certainly say something less, but, you know, it's all dance, so.
I hate to go much more, really any more than 100, to be honest with you. With our,
Because of the repairs and so forth.
yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Orleans thrive too, but I mean, if we had $1 million, yeah, that'd be great, but I just don't see that we got it.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, you know, we've done all these things, little things before, and I mean, you know, that's good. We did a little park down there, but this is something different. I mean, who knows? Somebody might buy it and do like a Cook or somebody that, you know, make it better than we even thought, but
That's a different idea.
Well, I have talked to the Cook group, but, you know, they're not interested in that particular
yeah.
thing. But I mean, you know, you're right.
Someone with deep pockets. That's what you mean. Someone with deep pockets, you need to
Yeah.
find somebody with deep
And what the
pockets.
Cook thing is now is they want the communities to step up. They want the towns, and that we have to continue to find ways to enhance and build to support all the other things that are taking place in French Lake and West Bay. So, I mean, when you talk to Steve Ferguson, he's constantly saying, you guys need to be thinking about bathrooms, you need to be thinking about adding this, you need to be thinking about. So they're constantly encouraging the municipalities and the town and the county to step up and say, you know, you got to find ways to enhance, you know, and continue to build on what we've done here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of their thing, not so much that they're going to come in
Yeah.
and bail us out on anything, other than they say it has to be a partnership, and the towns and county all have to be willing to step up to improve and, you know, help the county, you know, the way it looks, and our cities and our towns and all that. But that's kind of their philosophy now.
Grant, is that a motion?
Yeah, I think I'll make a motion just to keep it at 100.
Okay. Do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second that.
Steve seconds it. Any further discussion? All those in favor of staying at 100,000, please say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. I'll let Shane know. You know, it is what it is. I can't.
That's what we decided at the earlier meeting that time. It's 100 all we got.
And that, those renovations, I mean, that's just ballpark, that could run,
It
no
could,
telling what,
it could run a lot more.
Yeah. Probably not less, but
You get the state involved in it, it's hard to tell them what it'll be. We got to have these inspected, right?
I will let Shane know that we appreciate him moving in, but we don't feel like we can move up with the amount of renovation that it was gonna take us to get it into that position that we wanted to get into. Is that okay?
Yeah, you couldn't very well buy it, and then we very well couldn't buy it for $150, and you just want to sit there, because we wouldn't have the money for several years. But it is, no problems.
Okay. Is there any other business that needs to come before our group? Anything?
You think so?
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
second.
Josh, adjourn?
Yep.
Grant, we are adjourned. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Turn your video off.
Yeah, just want to read about it.
Yeah, that dermatology stuff, that
That's
is
nothing, if you
sure.
want to sell a vape shop, there's nothing in the zoning.
Cream right now.